everyone, and welcome back to the REWI channel. And this is our Edusession Saturday. I've been asked so many times how and when I got started in real estate investing. So I thought I would do a video on just that. While this video won't necessarily be educational, I do hope that it might be inspirational to those women out there that are second guessing their potential to become a real estate investor or landlord. My father and grandfather were both very active in real estate investing. I remember being a little girl and hearing about my dad going to repair something or dealing with a tenant who was giving him a problem. In 1995, my parents gifted me and my then husband a 4-family house. It was then that I started learning about real estate. We lived in one unit and rented the 3 other units. It was certainly an eye-opening experience, to say the least. But we were able to leverage that property to purchase a 1-family home in a couple of years. In 1997, I continued to explore real estate education and received my salesperson license. Being a realtor allowed me to help others accomplish their dream of homeownership. It has always been such a rewarding profession. Fast forward to 14 years later, during my divorce, my ex became quite bitter and decided he was going to go after the 4-family property. It was an ugly divorce, to say the least, and I learned a lot about what I never wanted to live with again. One of those things was ever having someone tell me again that I could not survive without them. Needless to say, the 4-family home was sold, and after my ex put our family home into foreclosure without my knowledge, I was able to salvage it and had my ex sign a release that basically kept him from having any rights to that property. My 4 boys were still in school, and I swore that I would not take from them the only stable place they knew, and instead, I would allow them to complete their education in the school district that they called home. As my youngest was getting ready to graduate high school, I knew the time was coming to begin what had been grown in my mind for years. I wanted to build wealth through real estate investing. I had the education and the drive, but was most definitely worried about failing. After all, I was an unmarried woman looking to get into a predominantly male field. Thankfully, I had people close to me that would be there each step of the way. My father, whom I loved dearly, was starting to have health concerns. At one point, he ended up in the hospital, and I took over the management of his multi-unit property. It was a struggle, to say the least. Some of the tenants were difficult and habitually late paying rent. The property had deferred maintenance issues that were challenging me on a daily basis. Eventually, it became evident that my dad could not maintain the needs of the property between his age and continued decline in health. My mother was not inclined to handle the property either, so we came to terms for me to purchase it. It was certainly bigger than I had expected my first property would be, but I had my dad there to provide me with some know-how, along with those close to me providing motivation to stay the course. The first few months were certainly tough. My way of managing the property was certainly not the same as my dad's, and a few of the tenants were not accepting of a woman calling the shots. I became familiar with the landlord-tenant laws quickly, as well as my county court system. Nevertheless, the rest of the tenants soon came to understand my no-nonsense way of managing the property. Unfortunately, my dad was taken away from us a year later. It was the hardest thing in my life I had to struggle with. I had hoped for him to see how I would come to turn that property around. I am, however, forever grateful to him for instilling his love of real estate in me. Since purchasing that property, I have gone ahead and purchased various other properties. In all, I currently own and manage 14 units and closing on others in the future. I continue to learn every day about real estate, finances, and investing. Not to mention, in this field, you learn a lot about people. I know that if I can make this a reality, that there are so many other women out there that can as well. I now want to help as many as I possibly can to reach their potential to create wealth and feel confident in their ability to become financially free. And that's my story. So tell me, what's holding you back from chasing your dreams and creating your own wealth? Share it in the comments below. I love to hear them, as I'm sure I can relate. Until next time, I'm Joanna Bell, your host and administrator of the REWI channel, Real Women Investors.